we're back.
Welcome to Catch The Crazee podcast. I am your host with the most sipped, crazy man, Farrah, and I am with
George, the dreamer,
everybody. Yeah, rock your body.
Is that the Backstreet Boys
Yes.
or is that NSYNC? I can't remember. I'm frying. I knew that was fucking. I knew it was a Backstreet Boys.
I'm just trying to see how many different things could go with this beat.
Everything.
Everything.
You just heard it right now. It's like everybody. You just got to slow it down a little bit, but it goes.
Yes.
It goes just fine. It's hysterical. Anyway, so what's going on, Sammy? Hey, this is Sam. Happy anniversary.
It's our anniversary. It's our anniversary. 1 year anniversary of our comeback. Of our comeback.
Right.
Don't call
That's
us a comeback. We've been here for years. Right?
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Crazy.
It's insane.
Yes.
Insane.
So for this episode, we're going to reflect on the past 12 months.
Reminisce.
And our journey back to the Craze.
That's right.
You know, for those who don't know, Catch the Craze started in 2005. It's been around for a long time, and disbanded for 10 years, and then a year ago, a little more than a year ago, George and I met up in the spring, and it was an impromptu meetup. It was just like, how's it been, blah blah blah, and the beginning of the comeback started.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy how time just goes by so fast. And this year we had plans to do other things, which obviously were derailed.
Yes.
As was, I'm sure, a lot of people's lives. So it's, but yeah, man. And here we are. We're still bringing it. Friday is our day.
Yes.
It's your day. We're online every Friday.
Yes.
And we've been consistent, I think, and I'm proud of that, man. I'm very proud of the fact that, we never derailed from that.
Yes.
Friday's the day.
Yes.
Friday is when they come out. Even when we do our live shows, because we do our live shows on Wednesdays, but they re-air on Friday. So you're still getting a show on Friday. We don't go dark. The only time we didn't have not a live show, but a pre-recorded show of us was at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Where we were, it's obviously the holidays and stuff like that. But even then, we had something playing on that Friday.
Yes, even then, I was in the Middle East, and I was still able to upload that show. It's like the trends have changed. And now, you got collectors that are now YouTubers, right? And they're buying and selling, and they're doing auctions online. That's like one of the biggest trends. And, we were fortunate enough to have Just a Rican on the show, and who's a big YouTuber, and he has a big following, and he is consistent with his live shows on YouTube. And there's just so many different diversified talent out there that I think because we have identified ourselves as supporters of indie movement in all art forms, that we're attracting a lot of different talent, and that's what I'm excited about. And when I'm thinking about some of the shows from the beginning to the shows that we started back up last year, it's funny that I didn't pick up on a few nuances on our style until that show with Nerds in Around. It's interesting that what catches my attention versus we want as many diverse people on our show as possible, but sometimes the subject matter has not piqued my interest. You know what I mean? I'm like, I heard this one before. What's different about you? But then there are guests that I'm locked in, and I'm like, I want to ask a billion questions because I find what they're doing fascinating. So that's what I learned about myself. I didn't realize that I was being selective, which is great about having two hosts. Where you carry that mantle with the lines of questions, and then I get in there when I feel like there's something I want to dig deeper on,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we found our niche in how we balance each other when we have guests, and also what we do pre-show and post-show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think that and when you say that, it's funny because sometimes, and in all honesty, and this is straight up, sometimes we'll book a guest, and I'm like, damn, I don't know, I don't know what we're gonna ask, or like, and you'll do your research, you still, but like you said, sometimes the subject matter is just something out of like what you're used to or what you are interested in, and
Yes.
it's not about our interest, and that's the thing. It's not about what I'm interested in.
Right.
It's about promoting them, and
Right.
because people are obviously interested in them.
Yes.
I'll give you a perfect example, and a big shout out to Hail Hydra. Okay, when we booked Hail Hydra, right?
Right.
And again, big shout out. He's a big YouTuber. Excellent dude. We had a really good time. For the first time, actually, this was somebody who, for whatever reason, he did not want to come on camera,
Yes.
which was very interesting. That was in itself was very interesting.
Yes.
So he did. So when you check out that show, I can't remember the number of the show. I have it written down somewhere.
Right.
But if you go back into the archives, and I'm talking to the viewers, if you go back into the archives, check out Hail Hydra. You won't see him on the screen. No. It's interesting. It's like Banksy. Like you don't know who this guy. You don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
And coming into that interview, I was like, man, I remember having a conversation like, yo, Sam, I have no idea what are we gonna. But the minute he came on, dude, honestly, and this wasn't just me just faking it, I genuinely became interested in what he was doing.
Yes. Yes, I know. Well, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
Welcome to Catch The Crazee.
Thank you.
So, before my co-host is on the show, his name is George.
Yeah, I can see him. Hi.
Hey, how's it going? How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good. Welcome, man. Welcome. Thank you for getting up early and being on the show with us.
Well, I pulled an all-nighter, to be very honest.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Look at you, a trooper.
Jeez.
Wow. So, before we begin, I'd like you to introduce yourself to the audience, who you are, where you're from, and then we'll start going into your passion.
Well, I'm Shutitha Roy. I'm 21 years old. I'm from India. And currently, I'm running a page on Instagram where I make comics. I mean, like how I contacted you.
Yes.
And that's it till now.
Okay.
But I'm planning to write a novel soon. So, yeah.
Awesome. So we want to go back before we go forward. So, what were you into growing up as a child that eventually led into this form of art for you?
Well, I had been into dinosaurs since I was 2 years old, maybe, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, That's it. So, and kind of I had been collecting their toys for a long time, and models and action figures and stuff like that, So, I needed an excuse to buy some more. So I kind of thought I'd make comics out of them. And then it somehow hit it off.
So, have you read comics prior to creating your own webcomic?
Yup, a lot of them. I'm a big fan of Pet Foolery, if you know about that.
No, what is that?
It's a comic account on Instagram.
Okay.
And I've been into Marvel and DC and the Godzilla comics since, I don't know, for a long time.
Right.
What's your favorite Godzilla movie?
Well, that's difficult, but I like the original one.
The original?
As well as the one, Destroy All Monsters.
Yes.
Are you excited about the new one that's coming out? Because they got one coming out. Yeah,
Yep. Absolutely.
That's gonna be.
This just got really delayed. It was supposed to be this year.
Yes.
Yeah, well, with everything that's going on, absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
For sure. When did you start your Facebook page?
You mean Instagram? Facebook was.
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram both. When did you start them? Because you have a lot of followers, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing that you have such a following. When did you start them?
Well, I started it about a couple of years ago, but it wasn't until last year since it actually hit it off, and it got known to a lot of people.
How did that happen? You think? What happened? How did it boost to that amount of?
That's difficult to say. Most of the time, I think people share my content around, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and well, the hashtags definitely help.
Right.
Mm.
Uh, what else? Well, I think the fact that I post regularly is a big thing. The
Mm.
algorithm really helps me in there.
So you attribute
That's it.
you attribute to the appeal to the consistency of you producing the webcomic.
Yup, exactly.
Perfect. So at what point? How long ago did you start the comic?
How long? Oh yeah, about a couple of years.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
let's go back to that moment you decided, hey, I'm gonna make a webcomic of my figures, and I'm gonna go on social media with this. What was that moment like for you? What was the influence that triggered that response?
Well, there was this old YouTube series by Hoops and Dinoman, where the creator of the series actually used toy figures to create stop motion movies.
Hmm.
So that was kind of an inspiration. I'd been planning to do that for a long time.
Last night he was up all night and he still came on and he talked about his passion, his love for dinosaurs. There's one more place where you can also find his stuff is at Saurus, Saurius _chronicles. That's also more stories he has about the love for dinosaurs that he has. And yeah, man, it was again one of those things where like, what are we going to talk about? And it just happens, we just
Yes.
it just becomes interesting on the screen. And really nice guy. I hope he finishes that book because I definitely want him to get that done. And yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought it was fascinating. Definitely shy. You can tell that he was, he was shy on the show. But this is the fascinating thing about social media. And when I think about all these breakout stars and all these people that come from left field and they come with an approach that you wouldn't even consider, and they gain popularity, I think a lot of it has to do with heart and their love for what they do. Obviously, he loves the subject matter. He loves dinosaurs, right? So it became a hobby that turned into something that people appreciate. And I think that's what's I learn more and more and more from every time we have a guest on that's unique, because it really provides a different perspective, because guys like me, I'm an overthinker, just a little bit. And so and for me, it's about structure and timing and, evolution. And then you have Saurus, who's just winging
like,
it.
I'm gonna let it flow.
Just let it flow.
I got 11,000 followers. Let's see what happens.
What's up, everybody? It's been a while since I do one of these talking and walking videos, which leave me breathless for some reason. I gotta get back in shape. It is September. It's September, which means two things normally for me, and one special thing this September. It is hoodie weather. My Jets start playing. I don't even want to talk about that right now, but they do play. I mean, they try. And this September, only September 26th, actually through October 26th, Catch The Crazees, the comic book by my very good friend Sam, the Crazy Man Vera, and myself, I immortalized in a comic book we came up with called Catch The Crazees. So make sure that you get on Kickstarter and support the Craze. And the Crazies help us reach our goal, which is not much at this point, but we will have more news about that. Just check us out. Thank you again, guys, for the support. You guys rock, and see you on the podcast.
You so crazy, crazy.